I don't know why I'm having all these technical difficulties today. This is why, Kaya, I need a new computer and new camera and new editing stuff because iMovie sucks. I just hate it. I hate it, Kaya. I hate it. I wanted to do a vlog based on an episode of This American Life, which was all about unforgettable people. Like, who are the most unforgettable people in your life? So I decided that the most unforgettable people in my life are my parents. And that might sound like a cop out because I'm sure everybody thinks their parents are amazing, or I hope people think their parents are amazing. But I really think that my parents, it kind of like blows my mind when I think of how smart and talented, interesting my parents are. But I think what surprises me the most about them is that they are so incredibly different. And my parents got divorced when I was 6, so I don't really remember them being together. But now that I know them as people and not just as my parents, like it's really amazing to me that they were married for 10 years before they had me because they are just so different. On this side, my mom is like super professional and like really has it together and is like very proper all the time. She's like straight up Claire Huxtable. It's the only way that I can explain her. She does have a fun side and like knows how to have a good time, but she's just like really professional and she just like always holds it down. For example, one time I spent the night at a friend's house because my mom was going out of town and like didn't want me to be home by myself or something. I don't even know. I was like 15, so I really don't know why I couldn't stay at home by myself. But so I stayed at a friend's house, and my mom wrote them this ridiculous letter, and the letter was like, gave her flight information or whatever, and then she was like, upon my arrival to West Palm Beach, I will retrieve Franchesca at approximately such and such a time, based on the arrival of my flight and if there are no like delays or something. It was just so formal, and I remember my friend's parents being like, what, this is a book report? Like, my mom is just like that. Or one time, I had this teacher who like hated me and gave me an F on a paper because he said it wasn't the right number of pages, which was garbage. And so like we had a parent teacher conference and my mom and I brought our copy of the paper and my teacher lost the copy of my paper, and this is the whole crux of his argument, was that I didn't have the right number of pages and that's why I got an F. My mom like went freaking in, like it was amazing. My mom just like called him out and was like, this is unprofessional. She was an English teacher like in the 70s, and she worked for the school system, and she was basically just like, listen, if you're going to be a teacher, you need to be professional, and part of your job is accurate record keeping, so that when a student or a parent asks you why I got such and such a grade, you need to not only provide the paper and why it was graded that way, but you need to be able to show me that you explained to the students, here's how many pages it's supposed to be, and if it's not that many pages, you're gonna get an F. Couldn't do any of that. So my mom, being like the badass that she was so appalled just by like how rude he was. I mean, I don't understand. Like, he just really hated me. He just did not like me. My mom was like, okay, for the next week, I'm gonna come to your English class and I'm gonna sit in the first seat just so that you don't even look at my daughter sideways. And I was like really embarrassed because I was like 18 and I was like, Mom, okay, like you can stop, you're amazing. My mom came to that English class and sat front freaking row and took notes. She even corrected my teacher's spelling a few times. Like, she had it on lock. Like, it was amazing. And she was so intimidating, but like what's amazing about her is she's like really, really sweet. Like, she's not like mean or scary at all. So she loves all my friends. She's like close with all of them. So my friends would come to class and she would be like, oh, Stephanie, like giving them kisses. And then as soon as class would start, she'd be like, okay, I'm ready. And she would like have her little notepad and she took notes. Like, who are you? It was amazing. And I tell you, that teacher did not give me any problems the rest of the year. And like, I was a little embarrassed at first because like, who wants their mom to like show up to class for them? Stand up for them, but it was like really amazing. It just goes to show like how hardcore my mom is, and the fact that like she will hold it down for me, like no matter what. She's my biggest cheerleader. If I'm in the wrong, she'll be the first one to tell me, like, don't get that wrong. But like she always will support me and like stand up for me, and it's just like it was like a really really awesome. And like from that point on, I just really understood like how much my mom loves me and how much she like wants me to succeed, and that like no one, not even my stupid English teacher with his lisp, I just like get so mad thinking about him. Like no one's gonna stand in my way. Like move over. I On the other end of the spectrum is my dad. My dad is like really funny and really silly, and he loves to be the center of attention, and that's like probably where my sense of humor comes from. He's really really funny, and we have always had the type of relationship where we like joke around, like talk a lot of trash, like always. And when I was a kid, it was like really hard for me because I was so young and he was essentially teasing me and picking on me. But as I've gotten older, like I totally appreciate it, and I think that it like was a very strong character builder. And I try not to take things too seriously or like let things affect me, and I think that he is a big part of that. One example was when I was really young, there was this commercial. I think it was a beer commercial. And in the commercial, there was like this monster who was like at a pool party or something. And he was drinking the beer and he was like really ugly and really scary. And all the girls like still really liked him, even though he was like this ugly monster, because he had this beer and like he was like dancing and they were all dancing around him. And for whatever reason, I was terrified of this commercial. I hated the monster. And so my dad decided to make a videotape, like tape it, like old school, make VHS copy of the commercial, and would like threaten to put the commercial on, like if I did something bad. And it got to a point where it was like a running gag between us. And I had to have been like six or seven. Like I was young. And no, maybe not even seven. I was probably like 4 or 5. Like I was very young. And I would like taunt him. I would be like, "You're not gonna put it on. You're not gonna do it." And he would be like, with the tape. And then he would like put it in, and I would be like, "Go ahead, do it, do it." And then he would put it on, and I would be like, "Ah!" And I would just like run and like scream and cry. And like my mom would be like so mad. She was like, "Frankie, why do you do that? Like you are like scarring our child for life." But like it was really funny. Another funny time was like one time we were at the flea market, and my dad, we were leaving, and I was like looking at something, and I was taking a really long time. My dad was like, "Okay, I'm leaving no matter if you're coming with me or not. Like I'm out." And of course, being the child that I was like, "No, you're not gonna leave." And so my dad like got in the car, and I was like, "Oh yeah, sure," like standing there like really defiant. My dad starts driving away, and I'm like, "Okay, sure, whatever, you're gonna come back in like a minute." No, my dad drove out of the parking lot and like drove down the street and like around the corner so I wouldn't see him. And I was like panicking. I was like, "What am I gonna do?" I was like 10, like, no cell phones or any of that. Like I was like, crap, he really just left me. He drove around the block and he came back and he was like, "Get your ass in this car." It was really funny. Like I'm sure another thing my mom was mad about. Like just shows you how different my parents are. Like my dad loves to joke around and be silly, and my mom is like, "That is completely inappropriate. That's not how you raise children. Like that's wrong." So I really feel like because my parents are so different and they have such like striking personalities, that really like makes up who I am. And so like there's no way that I can forget that, because like it's so funny because my boyfriend knows my parents so well now. Like he is always pointing out to me like, "Oh my god, you're acting just like your mom right now," like about dishes, or like I don't even know, like I'll just get really serious and really like and he's just like, look at that. I'll just turn into my mother, and I see it happening, and I'm like, whoa, this is weird. And then like the other side of me is, because I'm so like over the top and silly, and I'm also really hard-headed, I will argue with you like till the very end. I don't care if you're saying the sky's blue and I'm saying it's purple. I'm gonna tell you that I'm right, and I will go head to head with you. That is like very Frankie in me. And so my boyfriend will just be like, okay, Frankie, like I see it every single day, and it's like kind of cool, you know. It's like me growing older and evolving into the two people that made me who I am. So how could I forget them? Of course, they are the most unforgettable people in my life. So sorry I'm rushing. This video has taken me so long, and every time I've recorded it, it's been like 13 minutes, and I don't want it to be that long. Anyways, so I want to know who are the most unforgettable people in your lives. You can leave me a comment, or you can leave me a video response, which is even better because I love to see your face and hear your voice. Okay, yeah. Okay. Bye.